Explore the intriguing question: are some people born leaders, or are we all called to lead? This sets the stage for a deeper dive into leadership dynamics. Welcome to the InsightRoom course on leadership. This isn't just another talk about leaders. It's a mirror, a challenge, and a call to something greater. Discover stillness, clarity, and growth. Delve into the foundation of leadership: heart, character, motive, and temperament. Understand that leadership is seasoned, not automatic, and explore various leadership styles and God's formula for true leadership. Our aim is to challenge the myth that leaders are simply born and reveal God's complete formula for raising true leaders. This course is for young people, professionals, parents, mentors, and everyone seeking growth. By the end of this course, you'll understand true leadership, identify your unique purpose, lead with character, reject entitlement, understand leadership styles, and know how to hold leaders accountable. This course is delivered on YouTube, free for everyone, everywhere. It includes episodes, a certificate, a study guide, and interactive Q&A sessions. Subscribe to stay updated. Before we begin, ponder this question: was Jesus a born leader, or was he chosen and shaped for a specific purpose? Reflect on why we believe anyone else is born a leader. Explore the big question: are leaders born, or does life call everyone to lead? Discover dynamic leadership, biblical wisdom, and the importance of self-leadership. The belief that some are born leaders while others are followers can excuse responsibility and place others on a pedestal. Let's challenge this notion and explore the whole truth. Leadership begins within. Heart, character, motive, and attitude are crucial. Who you are when no one is watching reveals your true leadership capacity. Leadership is not about ruling or impressing, it's about serving. The greatest leaders in history were the greatest servants, giving more than they took and building others up. True leadership requires submission to God, authority, accountability, and the people you serve. Without submission, power becomes abuse, and leadership fails. Men often resist submitting to others, leading to chaos in various spheres of life. Pride replaces submission, and chaos follows in homes, workplaces, and governments. Who decided that some are leaders and others are followers? Real life shows that people don't remain in one role forever. Leadership is dynamic and context-driven. Leadership is dynamic and moves with context. Whether a soldier, student, or quiet one, leadership adapts to the moment and is not fixed to a person. Distributed leadership means leadership doesn't belong to one person alone. It emerges within a group, depending on clarity and responsibility in the moment of need. Situational leadership changes with the moment. Today's leader steps forward when needed, while tomorrow's supporter steps back, showing leadership is responsive, not rigid. Leadership styles reflect our unique wiring. We all lead differently, but everyone has the capacity to lead. Embrace the diversity in leadership. Why do you want to lead? Your motives reveal more about your character than qualifications. Choose to serve, uplift, and build a legacy beyond yourself. From a spiritual perspective, God chooses and then prepares. He doesn't only choose those who appear ready. Often, He chooses and then prepares them for leadership. Moses did not believe he was a leader. He had a speech impediment and a criminal past. Yet, when God called him, he became the voice that confronted Pharaoh and led a nation out of slavery. He was not chosen because he was ready. He was prepared because he was chosen. Moses was appointed by God, not by ambition. When the weight became too heavy, he appointed elders to share it. Leadership that is self-declared lacks mandate. True leadership surrounds itself with trusted people and does not self-appoint. When Samuel came to anoint the next king, Jesse presented 7 sons, each impressive. Yet, David was not even called into the room. He was in the fields tending sheep, overlooked by others. But God saw in him what no one else could see. Leadership is not always visible to others. Sometimes only God sees what you carry. Gideon was hiding, threshing wheat in a winepress to avoid the enemy. When the angel called him a mighty warrior, he laughed at the idea, seeing himself as the weakest of the weak. Yet, through him, God delivered a nation with just 300 men. Your opinion of yourself is not the final word on your leadership capacity. Moses, David, and Gideon teach us that qualification is not required, willingness is. Being overlooked by people does not mean being forgotten by God. Your weakest moment may be the very place your calling begins. God can choose and set apart anyone for a role, and he can take it away at any time. Saul was anointed king but later rejected due to pride and disobedience. David was raised from the field, given what Saul forfeited through character. True leadership is a character that remains even after the title is gone. Sometimes people become leaders because they have no choice but to grow, focus, and become responsible. Life places tasks and challenges before you, and as you rise to them, leadership is formed in the pressure. What begins as a burden becomes a purpose. Leadership is for those ready to share themselves. Ask yourself honestly, is my leadership about my growth or the growth of those I lead? Am I building people up or my own platform? Do I leave people better or dependent? Leadership is mentorship for our children's children. If you do it for yourself, you get a career. If you do it for others, you build a legacy. A man without a vision is dangerous, as is a man with nothing to lose. But if we do it for our children's children, there is a legacy. You cannot be firstborn everywhere. In every room, team, and season, someone else will carry authority, and that's right. At home, you may lead, but at work, you follow. In one area, you're senior, in another, you're the student. Humility means knowing your lane and running it excellently. We cannot all lead at the same moment. Coordination requires a point of direction, preventing confusion in critical moments. Structure allows a group to move as one. It does not mean others are incapable or have no contribution. It requires structure, not supremacy. Before we lead others, we must learn to lead ourselves. Discipline begins in the mind, shaping who we become. Emotional maturity is the foundation of lasting leadership influence. Every decision is a vote for the kind of leader you are becoming. Ask yourself, am I leading my thoughts, or do my thoughts lead me? Do I respond to challenges with maturity or emotion? Are my daily habits building the leader I want to become? When responsibility calls, do I step forward or back? Are leaders born, or are they those who are willing? True leaders submit to God, counsel, and accountability. They change situations with good character, listen well, and stand for what is right, even at a cost. They believe those they lead have good contributions, given the chance. Support good leaders because tomorrow you might be the one occupying that chair. Leadership is a burden as much as a privilege. Protect their reputation when absent, give honest feedback, and challenge wrong decisions without undermining the person. Leaders are shaped and molded, not manufactured in a moment. They are formed through fire, failure, faith, and faithfulness. Pressure reveals what's inside, and mentorship shapes in ways no classroom can. Those faithful in small things are trusted with greater things. All of us carry the ability to lead, but not all lead at the same moment, in the same space, or the same way. That is not limitation, that is design. Leadership is about knowing when to step forward and when to step back. Sometimes you step forward for strength and clarity, that is courage. When another's moment comes, support them fully, that is wisdom. Knowing when to do each is maturity, and that is leadership. Leadership is not a label, it is a response. It is exercised responsibly, stepping forward when the moment calls with courage, clarity, and care. Both the leader and the supporter are essential to the work. The final question is not who is a leader or follower, but when responsibility calls, will you step forward? Leadership is about responding to the call with readiness and willingness. History remembers individuals for their character, not the positions they held. Jesus Christ, Nelson Mandela, and Martin Luther King Jr. are celebrated not for their titles, but for the profound character they embodied. God chose Moses and held him accountable, teaching us that leadership demands responsibility. Moses faced arrogance, consequences, and learned valuable lessons, showing that higher calling requires higher standards. If leaders enrich themselves, it is our fault for not grooming them well or holding them accountable. We must speak up and prioritize integrity over personality to prevent their downfall. The idea that leaders are born serves to protect the powerful and silence questioning. It excuses wrongdoers, exalts the untouchable, and enables corruption. True leadership is shaped, accountable, and removable. Leadership is not fixed. It emerges based on context and responsibility. God chooses the willing, and self-leadership comes first. Wisdom lies in knowing when to yield, and leadership is a response, not a title. True leadership is a blend of anointing from birth and training. Accountability is crucial, as leaders must be held responsible for their actions. This formula has never changed and defines God's approach to leadership. Jeremiah, John the Baptist, and Jesus Christ exemplify God's formula for leadership. They were identified, trained, and held accountable, showing that leadership begins with anointing and is shaped through preparation. Join the movement to build a world where everyone discovers their inner leader. Subscribe, share, and join the conversation to spread this empowering message. We want to hear from you. Share your most powerful moments from this course, your natural leadership style, and which biblical leader resonated with you. Your insights are valuable to us. The message continues when you decide to lead differently. Subscribe for new courses, share with others, and engage in Q&A to keep the conversation going and inspire change. If this course spoke to you, like, subscribe, and share to take this message further. Leaders are shaped, molded, and called, and the journey begins with you.